Hi Fufu Friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is soft-spoken and we also have a special guest. This is Fufu. He's sitting on my lap and you might be able to hear his purring. I'm not sure if it will get picked up in the mic. Today's video is special because today I'm gonna be talking about the Hitwoman series. I wanted to do like a little bit of a sit down and chat about a video today because I don't know, there was a lot more that went into it, and I want to just talk about all of it. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that this series was not planned. My first Hitwoman video was actually my 4th video ever, and it was just titled ASMR I'm Your Hitwoman in parentheses You Catch Me. When I first started YouTube and like ASMR, I did it for fun. I still do it for fun, but like I wanted to come up with like new ideas that nobody's seen yet. I wanted to come up with like super unique ideas and just like out there stuff that like not anybody has thought about. Turns out there are other Hitwoman videos out there, but I had never known about them until I started posting them. But I was like, wouldn't it be so funny if I just like tried to poison somebody's drink and like fail, and like that's the comedy of the video? So I did it, and I think it was one of my first videos that like started doing really well. And by really well I mean like a couple hundred views, but like for obviously just starting off, like that's really good. And I was like, oh wow, people really like this. And there was a bunch of people, I guess not a bunch of people, but there's a handful of people that were saying like make a part 2, and I was like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting people to like this video, you know? And so I was like, make a part 2. Like I was thinking in my head, like, what am I gonna do for part 2? Like, here, let me tap on my phone. I was like, what am I gonna do for part 2? Like, how am I gonna make a part 2 to a video of me being your Hitwoman and failing to on a live view? Like, how am I gonna step it up, you know what I mean? And so I was like, I can't just make another video that's the exact same premise but like different people. Like I have to make it like, you know, a part 2. It has to be like a part of the same series. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I want to implement more actual ASMR triggers, like, you know, tapping, scratching, light triggers, camera touching, like, you know, like there's like lists of triggers, right? Like doing your makeup videos or like all those things. I wanted to implement more of those things because most of my videos, like, well, I guess kind of all my videos at that point were just talking. Like they were just role plays, but they were mostly just talking and not very many like triggers, which I guess is kind of still how I do now. I didn't even get anything to tap on for like 3 minutes or something, but I was like, what if I kind of implement like doing your makeup, cutting your hair, like all these role plays in one video, like writing and scribbling on paper. I wanted to implement it on one video, so I was like, okay, well, what if I just do like a Hitwoman changes your identity because she doesn't feel comfortable like on a live in you or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be so funny, like it's gonna be so funny. And so I did it, and then some people wanted part 3, and I was like, geez, like what am I gonna do for part 3? Like how am I gonna up this again, you know what I mean? You know what's actually really funny about my part 2 for the Hitwoman video was that I was originally, like that day I was recording a like girl that's obsessed with you video, or like friend that's secretly obsessed with you, and I was like, I just did not like how it turned out. Like I just kind of felt like it didn't turn out well, and like I just didn't like it. Like there was something wrong with it. Like I was just like, it's too weird, it's not realistic, like I don't know how to kind of act as this character, like I don't really know, I don't like it. And I was like, okay, well then what if I just, you know, do like a part 2 to my Hitwoman video? Why don't I just do that? And that's why I was wearing like these big pink earrings which are earrings that have like Cupid's bows in them, because I was originally recording a like I'm obsessed with you video, or I'm in love with you video or whatever. That's why I was wearing those earrings, because I wasn't originally recording a Hitwoman video that day. I thought that was funny to share. So then when I got to part 3, I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna get invested in this series. Like this is gonna be like a series, right? I'm gonna do a bunch of parts. And let's see, what else around my room can I tap on? gonna tap on the W snowman from my goofy effing yard sale video. This is him. But so then I got super invested and I was like, I think I should do one episode where I go to jail because, you know, somebody put me in jail and, you know, I'm getting interviewed and it's like I'll wear my orange hoodie and stuff, and I thought that would be super funny. But then I was like recording it, and as I was recording it I was like, this is not long enough. Like, this video is not even breaking 10 minutes. I'm so sorry about the noise outside. I was like, this is not long enough, and this is also not interesting enough to make longer. So I am just going to like have it cut to like a different time in the day, and I'm gonna like kidnap the viewer and be like, I know it was you. And then so after that video, I remember telling my friends, I'm totally making this an enemies to lovers series. Like, I'm totally making it that trope. Like, that was my goal when I made a part 3. I was like, I'm making this an enemies to lovers, because enemies, I literally tried to unalive the viewer, and now all of a sudden I'm like kind of falling in love with them, and I thought that it would be like at the end where we like started dating. But then I was like, okay, well maybe that's like cringe. But like, that's where I was going with it, and that's why I kind of added the like, you know, at the end where I'm like, oh well, like, you're okay, I guess, you know, like I'm trying to pretend like I don't like you, but I really do. And you know, after I found out that it was not them who turned me in and we suspected that it was possibly Angela, I was like, you know, I need to do a video where we're finding out if it's Angela, and I'm also gonna implement a little bit of I kind of like you in there, because I wanted it to be enemies to lovers. Part 4 was pretty funny because my intention was to have like me and the viewer on like a little stalking mission to find out if Angela was the one that turned us in, and I just for some reason forgot to look at the camera. Like, forgot to have the viewer be the camera. Like, it was just like the viewer's over here and Angela's over here. And I was at a point in my life where I was very busy, and I still am busy now, but I'm less busy now. There was just a lot of things going on, and I was super busy, and I was like, I cannot sit down and re-record this video. Like, I do not have time. So I literally just made it as in like a third person POV, and I did not do that on purpose. I was supposed to be that the camera was the viewer. The camera is always supposed to be the viewer, but I freaking forgot to look at the camera for some reason. And after I finished filming the video and I go to edit it, I was like, wait, what the heck am I doing? I didn't look at the camera at all this freaking video. Like, I'm actually so dumb. And I was like, I feel bad, but like, I do not have time to re-record this. Like, I am so busy with other things in my life right now. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna say that it's a third person POV thing, and that's what it came out with. So that's a little fun fact about part 4. They are called episodes now, but I'm gonna get to why soon. Episode 5, but it was part 5, is basically you on your first job, because at the end of part 4 we tell Elliot, the boss of the hit person business, that Angela was the one that turned me in, so he fires her and then hires the viewer in his place, or in her place, I mean, not in his place. And so then part 5, I was like, because people were asking for more parts, and I also wanted to do more parts because I was having a lot of fun with the series. And so I was like, okay, well, it's just gonna be their first job, right? Like, I'm gonna go on them with the job, we're gonna plan it out, and then we're gonna go on, and it's gonna be such a good video. And it was a good video. I had a lot of fun making that video, and I also really liked the like costume change I had in the video. Like, to me, it was like, because I was like, all right, we're in the hit person facility, and now we're out, and I did a costume change to be my Hitwoman attire. So I thought that was really funny. But after that video, I honestly was very like, oh, I'm sorry, my hair is sitting and he's twitching. I was very writer's block. I have this, which is a phone stand, so I'm gonna scratch it. It's a polar bear. So I'm gonna tap and scratch it. So basically, can you hear that? I don't even think you can. I'm getting sidetracked. After part 5, I was very lost, and I was very much like, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna continue this series? I feel like I've kind of already milked all of the like all of the possibilities for this series. Like, I've already failed as a hit woman, and then, you know, tried to change their identity, went to jail, found out that somebody sent me to jail, got her fired, now the viewer's hired, now they got did their first job. Like, where am I supposed to go from here? Like, I was so like stuck, and I kind of felt like, okay, well, I'm just gonna let the series die out, because I literally had no ideas. And there was like this one person, he's been around my channel literally since the beginning, and been so kind, always saying nice things in my comments. But I know that specifically he was very into the series and had left comments on the Hitwoman videos, asking for another part, or like, when is another part coming. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I feel bad, like, just like ignoring the series and pretending like it didn't happen, you know, like I need to do something else. And then I got this huge idea that was like, what if I kind of pull like a Thomas Sanders, and I like am Angela, and I do like a crazy like Hitwoman series comeback, and I'm Angela. And I was like, this is gonna be so funny. And when I decided to make that video, everything changed for me in this series. Like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this like a freaking TV show. Like, I'm gonna put my heart and soul with this. I don't care how well it does with views, I don't care if people don't like it. Like, I'm going to like put my heart and soul into this series, because I had so many ideas. It went from like, I have no idea what I want to do with this series, to like, I have so many ideas I can't even write them all down. So I basically planned it out that episode 6 was going to be Angela's revenge, and she was going to plant an audio device in my house, trying to collect information on what to tell the police on how to get me arrested and the viewer arrested, because she thought if we both got arrested and we couldn't be in our jobs, that she would get her job back and she could be with Elliot. A few people have noticed, but there is a love triangle. Vanna, with me in the series, likes the viewer. Angela likes Elliot, who is the boss, and the boss, Elliot, likes Vanna's, me. Guess the viewer could just choose who they like. I saw some people in my season finale video say, I'm team Angela, my crush Angela is back. And I thought that was so funny, because I was like, I don't know if they commented this before or after I killed off Angela. But I was like, oh no, team Angela. I was like, uh-oh, they're not gonna be happy that I killed her off. But yeah, so there is a love triangle, and this is when it went from like, well, after episode 5, it, like, when I decided to make episode 6, it went from like, I want this to be like an enemies to lovers thing, to like, I want there to be a love triangle and it's gonna cause conflict. So I decided to kind of make it like a full story. Like, Angela is the antagonist, I am the protagonist. I guess the viewer is just kind of like the viewer as well as a protagonist, and Elliot's kind of neutral, I guess. But like, Angela's the main antagonist of the season, and I wanted to really like do that up with making her want revenge, and kind of being like, I want Elliot all for myself, I want to work at this job, they shouldn't have it, and be like evil in a way. In this video where Angela wanted revenge, I started it off by saying, okay Daniel, listen, or something like that. And the name Daniel has come up a lot on my channel. I think the first time that I did it was my fortune teller video, where I said like, oh, your name is Daniel. Like, I assumed by fortune telling that their name was Daniel, just because I had a friend at the time named Daniel. His name wasn't Daniel, it was like pronounced differently, but I just thought it would be easier to say Daniel for like my video purposes, but it was basically spelled similarly. It was funny because there was like a handful of people named Daniel in the comment section being like, yo, what the heck, my name is Daniel. And I thought that was so funny, because I wasn't actually expecting anybody named Daniel to, you know, watch the video. I'm gonna tap on my journal. I just decided to kind of use the name Daniel every now and then in my videos, because it's kind of, I thought it could kind of be like a reoccurring joke that like the viewer is Daniel, kind of like how Danny Gonzalez like calls his viewers Greg. I thought like it could be funny that like Angela's friend that she's telling this revenge plan to, his name is Daniel. That's important for later. I'm gonna say something about it later. My plan at the time was, okay, I'm going to like make Angela put an audio device in her house, and then Vanna's gonna find it, and then it's gonna switch back to Angela being like, oh shoot, she found it, I don't have any audio transmission anymore, we need another plan. And basically I thought the series was going to turn into, at that point, like a fight between Vanna and Angela on like, you know, trying to like get back at each other, and that it would be a funny back and forth, and that maybe I could play both characters of one video or something like that. And then episode 7, I was planning on having half of the video being Vanna finding, so me finding the audio transmitter, and then half of it being Angela finding out and then coming up with a different plan. But I was like, how long can I really keep that up? What if, like, you know, I just have me find the audio transmitter and then I'll come up with like another idea later because I don't know like what I want her next idea to be. So I was like, okay, I'll just do that. And so I made the episode 7, which was me finding the audio transmitter. And then that was like when my like, oh, I have my plan for the rest of the series planned out kicked in. I knew since after episode 7 exactly how every single episode was gonna go and exactly like what order, because I had planned it all out. I made a Google Doc called Hitwoman series, and I basically put like a rundown of each of the episodes, and so that I could keep up with the plot and so that I could make sure that everything was accurate and I wasn't having plot holes and stuff. I planned out all the rest of the episodes. I decided that I would make it more dramatic by having Elliot kidnap Angela, basically showing that he likes Vanna, so me, as in completing the love triangle, and like that he wants Angela to stay away and all this stuff, and that, you know, he would eventually send her to France. Then while she's in France, I was gonna do episode 9, which is me and the viewer botching a job completely. That way that it would be like funny and it would still be kind of like episode 1 where like I botch a job, but it would be like, you know, me and the viewer doing it this time, and it would be a comedy, you know. Most of my videos are supposed to be comedies, well actually pretty much all of them besides ones like this. And then episode 10, at the beginning of the episode, we were going to talk about how much we botched the job, and then Angela was going to come spill all of the information about literally everything that has happened. And then oh, now that I realize you can see this, my stuffed animal is here, and that's what this is sitting here. And he spilled all the information so that, you know, Van and the viewer now know everything about Elliot and everything that was true about her planning the audio device. And then Elliot was just gonna shoot her. And I thought that would be so funny because it would be like such an anticlimactic, like, this is Angela's final moment, she's ranting, she's spilling all the information, and then boom, you're just dead, like it's just over. And I thought that would be how I would end this season. So let's like go back a little bit. Episode 7, I made sure to add a bit at the end where I'm making more of like a step to do the like lovers between me and the viewer kind of thing, where I was putting more effort into saying like, you know, like I really like you and I think we should move in together, but not that I care or anything, you know, because it's still supposed to be like, oh, I'm like shy and I can't tell you that I like you. And we actually planned, like me and the viewer I guess planned at the end of the video to move in together, which would make more sense why the viewer was at our house, you know, while we are telling Elliot all of the news. I wanted to like make more effort to put into the like enemies to lovers or just like me falling for the viewer kind of thing. I wanted to put more of that into the series because I feel like I really dropped off with it. With episode 2 and 3, I feel like I made a big effort to do that, but like 4 and 5, I feel like it slowed down a bit, so I wanted to add more. So I did that. And then in episode 8, about kidnapping Angela, I had a lot of fun making that one. Luckily I had a green screen and I was able to do the funny France bit. I thought that was really funny about she like wakes up in France, she's like, where am I? Am I in France? In my desperate friend that will literally date anyone video, at the end when I was talking, you know, to the viewer and saying like, oh, please set me up with any of your friends, and I was listing names, I said, can you set me up with Daniel? And I wanted to say that regardless because of the whole Daniel, like reoccurring Daniel name on my channel, but then I was like, what if I just kind of give a little Easter egg and connect this world to the Hitwoman world? And I made a comment about like, oh, you know, he puts up with that crazy girl Angela, so he'll be able to put up with me. By the way, where is she? Like that people have noticed that she's gone missing because Elliot kidnapped her and sent her to France. And I kind of wanted to like allure to another Hitwoman video where we're gonna find out where she is, or that she's gonna come back, because I was saying like, you know, where is she? Where is Angela? And I added that to that video, and I don't know how many people noticed it because I know probably some people watch that video that don't watch my Hitwoman series and vice versa. I'm really glad that somebody noticed and commented about it because I was really hoping that people would notice. But then, you know, in episode 9, I felt like it was a bit of a throwback to the first episode. Oh, also, I totally forgot to even mention about how after episode 7, like I said, I was like, okay, I have a plan for the rest of the series, and I planned that, like, Angela's gonna be the main villain antagonist of the season. Is my camera blurry, or is my eyeballs not working? Okay, I think it's fine now. But basically, like, I planned out all the things with Angela being the main antagonist of the season, and I was like, maybe I'll do a season 2, and like this season Angela's the antagonist, next season it's gonna be something else. So that's when I decided to make it like Hitwoman season 1 episode blank, that way that people could keep up easier instead of just putting like part this and then changing it. So now I went back and edited all of the previous videos, like the description. So now in the description of every video, and it will be in this one too, there is a Hitwoman season 1 playlist link, there is a Hitwoman series playlist link, and there's also a link to something that Graham's, I hope I'm getting that right, World commented to make a wiki page to keep up with the Hitwoman lore, because, you know, funny enough, he kept falling asleep and couldn't keep up with the plot, which is the whole point of ASMR, you know, you're supposed to fall asleep and relax. But I totally understand that, because I'm the same with Jade and Aliana's ASMR. When she's doing a series, I fall asleep and I cannot keep up with what's happening, and so I have to like go back and rewatch them the next day or something. So I was like, well, I don't really know how to make a wiki page, so I'm just gonna make a Google Doc, and made basically a really quick like synopsis of every single episode so you could keep up. That's also going to be linked in the description as well, so you can keep up with the season / series. I don't know if I will be making a season 2. If enough people want a season 2, I definitely will make a season 2. But yeah, so basically for episode 10, this video is way longer than I thought it was gonna be. I honestly thought this video was gonna be like 10 minutes. But for episode 10, which was the season finale, I had this whole vision planned out, and I was like, I'm gonna go back and forth between talking as me and Angela. And that video took me 3.5 hours to make. It was only 10 minutes long, but it took me 3.5 hours total to make, to like get ready, record, set up, edit, set up, post, and whatever. That took me a total of 3.5 hours, which is so funny because the video is literally 10 minutes long. But it really challenged my editing, and it also challenged my patience and like my creativity, and it was really fun for me. I did not script that, actually. I don't script any of my videos. I kind of just get like a basic idea of what I want to do, or even just the title, and then I just wing it. And I was going to script the last one, that way I could actively talk to myself, but I was honestly like, no, I would rather just, you know, wing it. So I did my part first, like Vanna's part first, and I basically had the conversation with the viewer and Elliot about everything, you know, and about the botched job. And then I was like, oh my god, is that Angela? And then I recorded like a few minutes of just random reactions, like, you know what I mean? So that like I could add them over top of Angela talking. And then I kind of went through my Google Doc of explaining the plot points of all the Hitwoman episodes, and I just kind of made a comment that I would say to Angela about each of the things. And then after that, I got changed and everything, and changed my jewelry and my makeup. Well, I didn't do makeup, like I changed my lipstick. And then I recorded Angela's part. I basically just recorded her coming in and then ranting about everything, and then also like telling me to shut up, or being like, what, you didn't know about Elliot kidnapping me, and like that kind of stuff, like minor comments towards me, minor comments back. And then I went in my editing software and I edited it all together. So that was very fun to make. It challenged my creativity and my improv, I guess. But yeah, that is the birth of my Hitwoman series. When I originally made it, I did not plan on making it a series. I didn't even plan on making more than one episode or, you know, part. I didn't plan on any of that. And then it ended up being this like thing that made me so happy and brought me so much joy to do, and I'm so glad that I did it, because genuinely, like, I was so hype over all of the episodes. Like, it was so fun to make all of them. It was so fun to make a series that is like so out there. I could make my own plot, my own antagonist and protagonist, my own, you know, villain backstory. Like, I could literally make everything up. I can make my own story and then get to share it with at least one person that is interested, at least one person that cares. That means everything to me. It's kind of like when you watch a movie and you're like, this movie is so good, I have to show my friends so that they can say that it's so good too, you know? It's like I get to do that with my videos, and I get to express myself and be creative and do things that I find funny, and then I get to share it, and there's so many people that are supporting me and saying, yeah, this is funny, or this is relaxing, or I enjoyed this, and it makes me so happy. It's like, you know, sharing a song with your friend and getting their validation that it's a good song, but it's like so much bigger than that. And I'm so grateful, especially with this series, that I was able to be so creative, and I was able to be so like just myself and just be able to make something like this, and that I got the support that I did, and I am so happy for it. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for being a part of this video and either just listening to me rant while you go to sleep or because you're really interested in the series. Either way, I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you want a season 2, or leave comments down below if you have any questions about this series that I didn't answer in this video. I'll definitely respond to your comment and answer. Thank you so much, and have an amazing day. And Fufu says thank you and that he loves you too. Okay, goodbye.